Hello, Jai Hind friends. Welcome to the online lecture series of employability skills and development. Today we are going to start with second module, that is communication skills. I am Assistant Professor Mr. V.R. Vadekar from Department of Electronics and Telecommunication from Matochi College of Engineering and Research Center, Nasik, affiliated to Savitribai Phule, Pune University. So let's start with our today's video. Syllabus of module 2. In today's module, we are going to cover introduction to communication skills, what is the importance of communication skills, and types of communication, and in that we are going to discuss verbal communication. Communication is a natural and essential bond for engagement among humans and necessity for their progress. Every individual, it is blessed by the ability to communicate or express themselves by birth. And this ability is bestowed on us in such an effortless way that we take it for granted. And the need or urge to express themselves, it is a core activity of all human beings. And most of us have this notion that we can communicate effectively in any situation. But despite assuming the art of communication as something smooth and simple, we tend to make mistakes while communicating with others, failing to say what is appropriate at that particular moment. So, a sound understanding about how effective communication takes place and how to learn and practice it at the workplace will be benefit every professional in their organizations. Now, what is the importance of communication? Your ability to communicate clearly and share thoughts, feelings, and ideas will help you in all your relations with other people. As a student, you may study any language, but it is important that you are able to read, write, speak, and listen well in order to communicate properly. Speaking more than one language can help you to communicate well with people around the world. Learning English can help you to communicate with people who understand English, besides the language that you have been exposed to in your family. For example, your mother tongue. Communication skills are needed to inform. For example, communicating the time of a meeting, to influence, as like negotiating with a shopkeeper to reduce the price, express your feelings, to say or show that you are excited about your success or about a given task. Here are the elements of communication. So, for communication, definitely we require a sender and receiver, and in between sender and receiver, we require a channel. So, the communication process, it starts with a sender, and a sender, it sends a message giving or asking for information, and a channel, which is also called as a path, such as phone or face to face, talking, writing, is used to transfer the message. And then it is your receiver. The message is received by the receiver, and the receiver, it replies to the sender through the channel. Now, what are the factors that affecting perspective and communication? First, it is your language. Well, in case of use of incorrect words, unfamiliar language, and lack of detail, language can act as a barrier to communicate what one wishes to convey. For example, language can act as a barrier when an Indian who knows only Hindi and a Chinese who knows only Mandarin want to interact with each other. Next is visual perception. Judging people or situations by how they look. For example, a man wearing a torn clothes, it is a poor, their past experience. Letting our earlier experience, they stop us from understanding or communicating clearly. For example, this shopkeeper cheated me last time, so let me be careful. Prejudice. Well, fixed ideas such as thinking, no one in my class listens to me, so may stop a student from communicating openly in the class. Feelings. Our feelings and emotions, such as lack of interest or not trusting the other person, affect communication. For example, I am sad, let me not talk. Environment, noise, or disturbance in the surroundings may make communication difficult. For example, speaking while walking on road. Then personal factors, your own feelings, habits, and way of thinking. For example, your fear, your low confidence may make communication difficult. And next is your culture. Well, signs which have a different meaning in different cultures, such as showing a thumb mean a good job for some people, but maybe insulting to others. Talking about effective communication. Effective communication can happen if we follow the basic principles of professional communication skills. And these can be abbreviated as 7 C's, that is, clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. So, these are further explained in this following figure. Clear. So, be clear, guys, about what you want to say and what you want to write. Concise. Use simple words and say only what is needed. Just don't, communicate in a simple and what we required, what we want. Don't use unneeded information. Concrete. You have to use the exact words or phrase. Use facts and figures properly. Then correct. Definitely, you have to use a correct spellings, your language, and focus on your grammar. Coherent. Your words should make sense and should be related to the main topic. Next is complete. Your message should have all the needed information. Incomplete information, definitely it is going to be harmful. And last, it is a courteous. Always be respectful, be friendly, and honest. So, these are the 7 C's of effective communication. Now, methods of communication. There are different methods of communication as non-verbal, verbal, and visual. So, let's understand first with verbal communication. Well, oral or spoken communication. Communication, which involves talking, language, face to face conversation when you can see the listener. For example, your public speaking, group discussion, talking to family members at home, public speeches like that one. Or talking on a phone. This is for a personal and official communication. Phone conversation should begin with a greeting, say hi, hello, talking and listening to each other. And the conversation can end with a thank you or bye, take care, like that one. Classroom teaching, business meeting, and public speeches are other examples of oral communication when one person addresses or talks to many others at once. Written communication, it also a part of a verbal communication as like oral communication because we are going to use a language. It involves a written or type words, writing on a paper, letters, creating notes, SMS, that is short message services. This can be sent through a phone to a person or a group, using email to share news, thoughts, documents, your files. An email can be used to send a message to a person or to a group. Printed books, newspaper, right? Now, what are the advantages of verbal communication? It's easy and quick. You can say what you want and get a quick response. It is an easier form of communication when you have to exchange ideas, information. You keep changing your communication as per the other person's reply. So, what are the disadvantages of verbal communication? Since verbal communication depends on words, sometimes the meanings it become confusing and difficult to understand if the right words or phrase are not used. So, friends, today we have seen that what is communication, what is the importance of communication, then what are the methods of communications, verbal, non-verbal, and today we have discussed about verbal communication. So, thank you very much, friends, for today's lecture.